The shuttle landed with a soft hum on the white stone platform. Park stood up from her seat and took a deep breath. Through the window, she could see the Galactic Military Academy for the first time. The buildings were tall and strange, made of metals that glowed with soft blue light. Thousands of aliens walked across the open grounds, creatures of every shape and size she had ever imagined, and many she had not. She was 22 years old, small in height, with dark hair tied back in a simple knot. Her uniform was new and pressed, the black fabric marked with a small blue circle on the shoulder, the symbol of Earth. She was the first human to ever wear it inside these walls. Picked up her bag and walked down the shuttle ramp. The air was cool and smelled faintly of something sweet, like flowers she did not recognize. Other passengers moved past her quickly, eager to reach the main gate. Most of them were large. Some had scales. Others had too many limbs. A few floated instead of walked. None of them looked at her. The main gate stood at the end of a long path lined with silver trees. It was massive, at least 50 meters tall, with a glowing arch at the top that pulsed with energy. Two security officers stood on either side, tall creatures with 4 arms and faces that showed no expression. A line had formed at the gate. Each person had to pass through a scanner before entering, joined the line and waited. Ahead of her, she could hear the scanner making soft sounds as it read each person. Green light, green light, green light. Everyone passed without trouble. A group of cadets stood near the gate, watching the new arrivals. They wore the same uniform but with different colored marks on their shoulders. One of them was enormous, a reptilian creature that stood over 2 meters tall with dark green scales and yellow eyes. He was talking loudly to his friends, making them laugh. Reached the front of the line, she stepped forward into the scanner. The machine hummed. Then it made a sharp sound different from before. Red light filled the arch, bright and alarming. A holographic display appeared in the air above her head, large enough for everyone nearby to see. Earthborn, do not engage. The reptilian cadet stopped talking. He turned to look then at the warning above her head. A slow smile spread across his face. Look at this, he said loudly. They actually let one of them in. His friends gathered closer. There were 5 of them, all different species, but they all wore the same look of amusement. So small, one of them said. Is this really from a death world? The reptilian walked toward. He was so tall that she had to look up to see his face. His scales made a soft scraping sound as he moved. I am, he said, top-ranked cadet in this academy, and you are what? A pet project, a joke. Did not answer. She held his gaze without blinking. I heard about Earth, continued. They call it a death world, dangerous gravity, extreme temperatures, poison everywhere, but look at you. He laughed. Soft meat, thin skin, no claws, no armor. What kills you? Everything. His friends laughed with him. One of the security officers stepped forward. His 4 arms were crossed, and his voice was flat when he spoke. The warning is standard protocol for Class 7 Death World species, he said. It is not a mark of weakness. Turn to look at him, then what is it? A danger classification, the officer said. Historical data shows that direct combat engagement with Earthborn species results in disproportionate casualties. The warning exists to protect others from them, not the reverse. The laughter stopped. The cadets looked at each other uncertain. Propaganda, said. He turned back to. I do not believe it. Look at her. She is nothing. He stepped forward, his shoulder hitting hers hard as he passed. Her bag fell to the ground and its contents spilled across the stone. Clothes, a small computer, a photograph of a young man smiling at the camera. The cadets walked away, still laughing but with less certainty than before. Knelt down and gathered her things. She did not hurry. She picked up each item carefully and placed it back in her bag. The photograph she held for a moment longer, looking at her brother's face before putting it away. She stood up and walked through the gate. Inside the academy grounds, the buildings rose around her like mountains. Aliens moved in every direction, speaking languages she did not understand. Signs floated in the air, pointing to different areas: training halls, medical center, housing units, command offices. A man stood waiting near the entrance. He was human, older than, with gray in his hair and tired eyes. He wore a formal suit instead of a uniform. "Park," he said, "I am Ambassador. I will be your contact here at the Academy." Bowed her head slightly. "Thank you for meeting me." Looked at her for a long moment. "I saw what happened at the gate, the warning, the cadets." "It does not matter," said. "It matters," replied. "The next 4 years will be difficult. You will be tested in ways that no human has ever been tested. Many here want you to fail. Some want you to die. You must be prepared." Looked at him. Her face was calm, showing nothing. "I did not come here to make friends," she said. "I came here to prove that humans belong among the stars. Whatever they do to me, I will endure." Nodded slowly. "Your quarters are in Building 7. It is the oldest building, the one with the least comfort. They gave it to you on purpose." "I expected nothing else." "Good," handed her a small card. "This will open your door. My contact information is saved on your computer. Call me if you need anything." Took the card. "I will not need anything." She walked away toward Building 7. Her room was small, barely enough space for a bed and a desk. The walls were gray metal, cold to the touch. There was one small window that looked out at a wall. No view, no light, just gray stone and silence. Sat on the bed and opened her computer. A message was waiting for her, sent 12 hours ago from Earth, from her brother. She opened it and read. "I hope you arrived safely. I know the Academy will be hard. I know they will try to break you, but remember what grandmother always said. The nail that sticks up gets hammered down unless it is made of stronger steel than the hammer. You are that steel. Show them what humans can do. I believe in you. Love, one." Read the message twice. Then she closed her computer and lay down on the bed. She stared at the ceiling for a long time, thinking about the red light at the gate, the warning that hung above her head for everyone to see. "Earthborn, do not engage." She closed her eyes and smiled. They would learn why. The first week at the Academy was exactly what expected. It was war without weapons. Every morning, she woke to find something wrong. Her uniform was missing from where she had left it. Her food tray in the dining hall was knocked from her hands by cadets who pretended it was an accident. Her training equipment was sabotaged. The settings changed to make exercises impossible. She said nothing. She fixed what could be fixed. She replaced what could be replaced. She kept moving forward. The other cadets watched her with curiosity and hate. They whispered about her in the halls. They pointed at her during meals. The reptilian made sure everyone knew that the human was weak, that she did not belong, that she would break soon enough. Commander made things worse. He was the head instructor, a tall creature with hard black eyes and arms like blades. He stood before the cadets each morning and assigned the day's tasks. Without fail, received the hardest ones. When other cadets ran 10 kilometers, ran 20. When others practiced combat for 1 hour, practiced for 3. When others rested, found something else for her to do. "The human needs extra training," he would say. "She is behind." Was never behind. She completed every task. She never complained. She never showed pain. On the 7th day, announced a special test. "The Endurance March," he said. 60 hours across the desert, no rest stations, no support. You carry your own water and food. Those who cannot finish will be eliminated from the program. The cadets looked at each other with worry. 60 hours was a long time. The desert was dangerous. Many species could not handle extended physical effort. Felt nothing. On Earth, her grandmother had walked 40 kilometers through the mountains every month to sell vegetables at the market. She had done it until she was 70 years old, had walked with her many times as a child. 60 hours was long, but it was not impossible. The march began at dawn. 200 cadets started across the desert. The sand was red and orange, stretching to the horizon in every direction. 3 suns hung in the sky, their light harsh and unforgiving. The temperature was hot, then cold, then hot again as the suns moved. By hour 10, the first cadets had fallen. Their bodies were not built for continuous movement. They needed sleep cycles, rest periods, time for their muscles to recover. Kept walking. By hour 20, 1/4 of the cadets had withdrawn. Medical shuttles flew overhead, picking up those who could not continue. Was still in the race, but his pace had slowed. Cold-blooded species struggled with the temperature changes. Kept walking. By hour 30, she had passed most of the remaining cadets. Her legs hurt. Her feet were blistered. Her throat was dry. But these were familiar feelings. She had felt them before on Earth. She knew they would not kill her. A cadet from a water species collapsed beside her on the trail. His gills were struggling in the dry air. Stopped, pulled water from her pack and poured it over his face. She helped him call for medical support, then continued walking. Saw this from behind. He said nothing. By hour 40, only 50 cadets remained in the march. Was in 4th place. Ahead of her were 2 silicon-based aliens who did not need sleep, and 1 large mammalian creature with 6 legs. By hour 50, the mammalian had collapsed, was struggling badly, his movements slow and clumsy. His body was failing. Past him without looking, she kept walking. She finished the march in 2nd place, behind only 1 silicon alien. When she crossed the finish line, she was tired but standing. Medical officers rushed toward her with equipment to check her condition. She waved them away. "I am fine," she said. Finished 4 hours later, barely able to stand. He looked at with something new in his eyes. It was not hate. It was not respect. It was confusion. 2 days after the march, instructor called all cadets to a lecture hall. Was different from the other instructors. She was ancient, with 6 arms and skin like old paper. She moved slowly and spoke softly. She taught biology and species studies. "Today," said, "we will discuss Death World species and their unique capabilities." She pressed a button and a holographic display appeared. It showed a planet, blue and green, white clouds, 1 yellow sun. "Earth," said, "home of species designation human, Category 7 Death World." Leaned forward in his seat. Other cadets shifted uncomfortably. "What makes a death world?" asked. She answered her own question. "High gravity, extreme temperature ranges, toxic atmosphere, dangerous predators, unstable geology. Earth has all of these things." She pressed another button. The display changed to show biological data, a human body rotating slowly. "The human body is remarkable," said. "It is designed for one thing above all else: survival." She pointed to the legs. "Humans are pursuit predators. On Earth, they did not catch their prey through speed or strength. They chased them for hours, for days, until the prey's heart stopped from exhaustion. This is called persistence hunting." The cadets were silent. "Humans can maintain physical activity for periods that would kill most species," continued. "Their muscles do not fail. Their hearts do not stop. They sweat to regulate temperature, allowing them to function in heat that would destroy others." She pointed to the skin. "Humans heal from injuries that would be fatal to most species. They can lose limbs and survive. They can suffer massive trauma and recover. Their bodies fight infection with remarkable efficiency." She pointed to the mouth. "Humans consume substances that are toxic to most life forms. Caffeine, capsaicin, alcohol, these are poisons. Humans drink them for pleasure." A cadet raised a limb. "Alcohol, the industrial solvent." "Yes," said, "humans drink it recreationally. They call it beer, wine, spirits. It is a social activity for them." The cadet stared at. She kept her face calm. "The warning at the gate," said, exists because direct engagement with humans has historically ended badly for other species. Humans do not surrender easily. They do not die easily. They adapt to any environment. They overcome any obstacle. This is why the scanner reads red. After the lecture, found in the hallway, he stepped in front of her, blocking her path. "Is it true?" he demanded. "The pursuit hunting, the poison drinking, all of it." Looked up at him. "Yes. Your people chased animals until their hearts exploded. It was a basic hunting technique," said. "We did it for 2 million years." Was quiet for a long moment. Then he stepped aside and let her pass. He did not bother her for 3 days. That night, received another message from one. "I have been watching the Academy news feeds," he wrote. "Something is wrong. There is talk of a special training event. They are planning something. Someone powerful wants you gone. Be careful, sister. They will not fight fair." Read the message and deleted it. She looked out her small window at the gray wall. She had known from the beginning that they would not fight fair. That was fine with her. She had never fought fair either. Commander stood before the assembled cadets with his blade-like arms folded across his chest. His black eyes showed nothing, but could feel his hatred like heat from a fire. "Today begins a special combat simulation," announced. "You will enter the hunting grounds. Each team must capture a flag from the central tower while eliminating opponents with stun weapons. The team that captures the flag wins. Those who are stunned are eliminated." He pressed a button, and holographic images appeared showing the hunting grounds. It was a massive area of forest, rock, and water. 50 square kilometers of wilderness inside the academy walls. "Teams have been assigned," said. He read from a list, grouping cadets into teams of 4, 5, and 6 members. He reached the end of the list. "Team 12, Park." He said nothing else, no other names. The cadets looked around at each other, stood alone. "Sir," one cadet said, "Team 12 has only one member." "I am aware," said. "The human requested special consideration. She will compete alone." This was a lie, had requested nothing, but she did not argue. There was no point. Everyone in the room knew what this was. "The simulation begins in 1 hour," said. "Prepare yourselves." Went to the equipment room and gathered her supplies. A stun pistol, a knife, a small pack with water and food. She checked each item carefully, looking for sabotage. The pistol had been modified to reduce its range. She adjusted it back to normal. 1 hour later, she stood at the entrance to the hunting grounds. Around her, 11 teams prepared to enter from different points. They laughed and talked among themselves. None of them looked at her. The signal sounded. The simulation began. Ran into the forest. She moved quickly at first, putting distance between herself and the entrance. The forest was thick with strange trees and plants that glowed with soft light. Animal sounds echoed through the shadows. The ground was soft and left footprints. She stopped at a stream and listened. Voices behind her, coming closer. Climbed a tree and waited. 3 cadets appeared below her, moving in formation. They were from Team 4, a group with excellent hearing and sharp claws. They stopped at the stream and looked at her footprints. "She went this way," one said. "The human is running toward the central tower." "Good," another said. "Team will cut her off from the north. Team 7 is coming from the east. We push from the south." Understood immediately. The teams had made an alliance. Instead of competing against each other, they would hunt her first, 12 against 1. When she was eliminated, they would resume normal competition. They moved on, following her false trail. Smiled and climbed down from the tree. She did not go toward the central tower. She went in the opposite direction, toward the team that thought it was hunting her. She found Team 7 making camp 2 hours later. 6 cadets, reptilian-like, resting in a clearing. They were confident. They believed the human was running scared. Circled their camp slowly. She studied their patterns. She found their weakness. When night fell, she moved. The first reptilian never saw her. She came from behind, silent as shadow, and pressed her stun pistol to his back. He dropped without a sound. She dragged his body into the bushes. The second one came looking for his friend, had left a trail for him to follow, a simple one that led to a trap. He stepped on the vine she had placed across the path. He tripped. Before he could shout, she was on him, stunning him into silence. The remaining 4 reptilians realized something was wrong. They grouped together, weapons raised, eyes searching the darkness. "Where is she?" one hissed. Threw a rock into the trees to their left. They all turned to look. She shot 2 of them from the right. The last 2 ran. Let them go. They would spread fear to the other teams. That was more valuable than eliminating them now. By the second night, stories were spreading through the hunting grounds. The human was not running. The human was hunting. Teams that went looking for her did not come back whole. Heard these stories. He did not believe them at first. Then 3 of his team members disappeared in 1 hour. He found them later, stunned and left in a row beside a stream. A message written in the dirt beside them. "Do not engage." Scales went pale. He gathered his remaining team and moved toward the central tower. The flag was the goal. He would focus on that. But the human was already there. Had reached the tower on the second day. She did not try to take the flag. Instead, she waited. She let the remaining teams come to her. Team 4 arrived first, had prepared the ground around the tower with traps, pressure sensors, trip wires, falling nets. One by one, they fell. Those who avoided the traps met her in direct combat. She was smaller than all of them, weaker, slower, but she was unpredictable. She fought in ways they did not expect. She used the environment. She used their own strength against them. She did not stop even when she was hit, even when she was hurt. When Team 4 was eliminated, had a cut above her eye and bruises across her arms. She did not stop to rest. Team 8 came next, then Team 2, then the survivors of Team 7 returning for revenge. By the third night had eliminated 37 cadets. She was bleeding from a dozen small wounds. Her uniform was torn. Her hands were shaking with exhaustion. But she was still standing. Found her at dawn on the final day. He had lost his entire team. He was alone, just like her. He stood at the edge of the clearing before the tower, his yellow eyes fixed on the small human who had destroyed an alliance of 12 teams. "How?" he demanded. "How did you do this?" Looked at him. Her face was calm despite her injuries. "On Earth," she said, "humans were never the strongest creatures. We were not the fastest. We could not fly. We could not swim as well as fish. We could not climb as well as apes. We had no claws, no fangs, no armor." She took a step toward him. "We survived because we learned to think like prey and hunt like predators at the same time. We learned that the chase matters more than the kill. We learned that fear is a weapon. We learned that the mind is stronger than the body." Raised his stun pistol. Did not move. "You are standing in a trap." Looked down. He saw the thin wire around his ankle, attached to a net hidden in the branches above. "If you shoot me," said, "your finger will pull the trigger as you fall. The shot will miss, and I will still capture the flag." Stared at her for a long moment. Then slowly he lowered his weapon. "What do you want?" he asked. "I want to prove something," said. "Not to you. Not to the Academy, to my people, to the galaxy. Humans are not weak. We are not a joke. We earned our place among the stars." She walked past him, toward the tower. She climbed the stairs alone and took the flag from its stand. The simulation ended with a bright flash of light. Had won. Commander was forced to announce her victory in front of all the cadets. His voice was tight with anger, but the words were clear. The human had won. Alone, against everyone. That night, Instructor visited in the medical bay, where her wounds were being treated. "You have made powerful enemies," said quietly. "Commander will not forget this." looked at her. "I did not come here to be forgotten." Nodded slowly. "There are those in this academy who are beginning to understand why the scanner flashes red for your kind. You have taught them something they did not want to learn." She turned to leave, then paused. "Be careful, child. The next test will not be a simulation." Watched her go. She lay back on the medical bed and closed her eyes. The next test was already coming. She could feel it, but she would be ready. She was always ready. Something changed at the academy after the hunting grounds. Noticed it in small ways at first. Cadets who once blocked her path in the hallways now stepped aside. Those who had stolen her food stopped coming near her table in the dining hall. The whispers continued, but they had a different tone now. Less mockery, more fear. Changed most of all. The great reptilian no longer led groups against her. He no longer spoke her name with disgust. He walked through the academy like a creature who had seen something that disturbed his understanding of the world. Found him sitting alone one morning, staring at nothing. "You are thinking about the hunting grounds," she said. Did not look at her. "I have been top-ranked cadet for 2 years. I have never lost a combat exercise. I have beaten opponents twice my size." "And then you met me." "Yes." He finally turned to face her. "I stood in your trap. I saw the wire around my ankle. I had a weapon in my hand, and I knew with complete certainty that I could not win." Sat down across from him. "That feeling has a name. Humans call it respect." "Is that what this is?" Made a sound that might have been a laugh. "I do not like it." "You do not have to like it," said. "You only have to acknowledge it." She stood up and walked away. Behind her, she heard make that strange laughing sound again. 3 days later, Ambassador contacted her through secure channels. His face on the screen looked older than before, tired and worried. "We have a problem," he said without greeting. Listened as he explained. The galactic government was debating the human presence at the academy. Several powerful species had filed formal complaints. They called humans dangerous, unstable, unsuitable for military training. They demanded that the academy expel all human students immediately. "All human students," repeated. "You mean me? I am the only one." "For now," said. "But if you fail or are expelled, it will justify banning all humans from military service. Forever. The door that opened for you will close for everyone who comes after." "What are they planning?" Looked around as if checking for listeners. "Commander is working with the species who want humans gone. He is arranging something, a test, an accident, something that will remove you from the academy permanently." "You mean kill me?" Did not deny it. "Your brother sent me a message. He has been tracking communication channels. He believes the plan will be put into action within the week." Thought about this. She had known from the beginning that some at the academy wanted her dead. Now they were moving from desire to action. "What kind of test?" she asked. "We do not know yet, but it will look legitimate. It will seem like a normal training exercise. And when you die, everyone will call it an unfortunate accident." Ended the call and sat in her small room. She looked at the gray walls, the narrow bed, the single window that showed nothing but stone. She had been living in this tiny space for months. She had endured harassment, sabotage, and isolation. She had won battles that should have been impossible. And now they were going to try to kill her. She was not afraid. Fear was useful only when it drove action. Sitting still and worrying accomplished nothing. She needed information. She needed allies. She needed a plan. The information came the next day. Commander announced a special final examination for first-year cadets. A live-fire combat scenario against actual military drones. The drones would be set to stun for most participants, but the exercise would use real combat conditions. Knew immediately that her drones would not be set to stun. Instructor confirmed her suspicions that evening. "I have seen the examination parameters," the old alien said quietly. Your section has been modified. The drones assigned to you are combat class, not training class. Their weapons are set to lethal levels. Can you change it? Asked. No, the system is controlled by Commander directly. I do not have access. Then what can I do? Was quiet for a moment. You can survive. I have studied the drone patterns. They have a weakness. Their targeting systems are designed to track predictable movement. Most species move in predictable ways. Humans do not. She handed a small data chip. Study this. Learn the drone patterns. If anyone can exploit this weakness, it is you. Took the chip. Why are you helping me? Because I am old, said. I have seen many species rise and fall. I have watched empires grow and crumble. And in all my years, I have never seen anything quite like humans. You are something new, something the galaxy does not understand yet. I want to see what you become. She left without another word. The allies came that night. Heard a knock at her door, soft and uncertain. She opened it to find standing in the hallway. Behind him were 6 other cadets. 2, 3 reptilians of different species. 1 tall mammalian with fur like silver. We need to talk, said. Let them in. Her room was too small for all of them. They stood pressed against the walls, filling every available space. We know about the examination, said. We know what they are planning to do to you. How? Asked. Because they asked us to participate. The mammalian stepped forward. His name was. Commander offered us favorable assignments if we helped ensure you failed the examination. He did not say you would die, but we understood what he meant. And you refused. Not at first, one of the admitted. We were going to agree. You were just a human. Why should we risk our careers for you? What changed your mind? The cadets looked at each other, finally spoke. The hunting grounds, he said. We saw what you did. You fought alone against all of us and you won, not through luck, not through tricks, through skill and determination and a will that would not break. He paused. That is what soldiers are supposed to be, what we are supposed to become, and they want to kill you for it. That is dishonorable, added. We became cadets to serve with honor, not to participate in murder. Looked at each of them in turn. These were creatures who had mocked her, harassed her, tried to destroy her. Now they stood in her room offering help. What do you propose? She asked. Pulled out a data pad. We have studied the examination parameters. The drones in your section will attack in waves. If you face them alone, you will be overwhelmed. But if you have support, you would enter my section, against orders. Yes. You would risk your careers, your futures. Yes. Was quiet for a long moment, then she nodded slowly. Then we need a plan. They worked through the night. They combined information about drone weaknesses with their own knowledge of combat tactics. They identified positions, timing, and signals. They prepared for every scenario they could imagine. By dawn, they were ready. Sent one final message to one, before leaving her room. The examination is today. They are going to try to kill me. If I do not survive, release everything. All the evidence you have gathered. All the communications you have intercepted. Make sure the galaxy knows what happened here. One's response came minutes later. I will be watching the examination feed in real time. The moment anything goes wrong, I will act. But I believe you will survive. You are made of stronger steel than any hammer. Show them what a human can do. Read the message once, then deleted it. She picked up her combat equipment and walked out the door. It was time to face the conspiracy. And it was time to win. The combat arena was the largest space in the academy. It stretched for kilometers in every direction, filled with buildings, obstacles, and terrain designed to simulate real battlefield conditions. Massive screens floated in the air above, broadcasting everything to the thousands of observers in the surrounding stands. This was not a normal examination. Word had spread through the galactic network. Military officials from 100 worlds had come to watch. They sat in special viewing areas, their eyes fixed on the arena below. Many of them had heard about the human cadet. Many of them wanted to see her die. Commander stood at the control platform, his blade-like arms moving across holographic displays. He looked satisfied. Everything was proceeding according to plan. Entered the arena alone. She wore standard combat armor, lighter than what most species used but fitted perfectly to her small frame. Her weapon was a pulse rifle, the same one given to all cadets. Her face was calm, her breathing steady. The screens above showed her vital signs: heart rate normal, blood pressure normal, stress indicators low. The observers murmured among themselves. They had expected fear from the human. They found none. A horn sounded. The examination began. The drones came immediately. They were military class, not training class. Larger, faster, more deadly. Their weapons glowed with killing energy as they swept down from the sky in perfect formation. Moved. She did not run in straight lines like most species. She did not follow predictable patterns. She moved like water, like wind, like something that could not be tracked or anticipated. The drone targeting system struggled to lock onto her. She fired as she moved, each shot precise and controlled. The first drone exploded, the second, the third, but more kept coming, an endless wave of metal and weapons. The observers leaned forward in their seats. This was not what they had expected. A drone caught her from behind. Its weapon grazed her shoulder, burning through armor and skin. She rolled with the impact, used the momentum to spin, and destroyed the drone before it could fire again. Blood ran down her arm. She did not stop. Minutes passed. The drone waves continued. Fought alone, her movements becoming faster, more desperate. She was good. She was better than anyone had imagined, but there were too many. A drone locked onto her from the left, another from the right, a third from above. She could not dodge all of them. Then appeared. He crashed into the arena from the emergency entrance, his massive body slamming into the drone on her left. His claws tore through its armor like paper. Behind him came the others, the mammalian, the reptilians, 7 cadets entering an examination they were not assigned to, breaking every rule in the academy. Commander screamed at the control platform, "Stop them, they are not authorized." But the cadets kept coming. They formed a circle around, weapons raised, facing the drones together. "What are you doing?" shouted over the noise of combat. "Fighting with you," answered. "Is that not what allies do?" Another wave of drones descended. The group fought as one, covering each other, supporting each other. Strength protected the smaller fighters. Speed filled gaps in their defense. They used their multiple limbs to engage several targets at once. Stood at the center, coordinating without words, pointing and signaling in ways her allies somehow understood. She had spent one night with these creatures, and already they moved like a team that had trained for years. The observers watched in silence. They had come to see a human die. Instead, they saw something else entirely. They saw a human lead. At the control platform, Commander was losing control. He tried to override the drone programming, tried to make them focus only on the human, but the system was fighting him. Instructor stood at a secondary terminal, her 6 arms moving across the controls. She had found access. She was deactivating overrides one by one. "What are you doing?" demanded. "Ending this," said calmly. "You have gone too far, Commander. The galaxy is watching, and they are seeing things you did not want them to see." She pressed a final command. The drones suddenly stopped. They hung in the air, weapons powering down. The arena fell silent. Stood in the center of the destruction, surrounded by fallen drones and standing allies. Blood covered her armor. Burns marked her skin. She was breathing hard, her body pushed beyond its limits. But she was alive, and she had won. Commander tried to run. Security officers were already waiting for him. They had been watching the same feeds as everyone else. They had seen the lethal settings on drones. They had seen the evidence of conspiracy. One had released everything to the galactic networks the moment the fight began. Communications between and species representatives. Financial records showing payments for favorable outcomes. Planning documents that specifically mentioned eliminating the human cadet. It was not just an examination anymore. It was proof of attempted murder broadcast to 100 worlds. The aftermath was swift. Was arrested and removed from the academy. The species who had conspired with him faced formal investigations. The examination was declared valid, and its performance was recorded as one of the most impressive in academy history. But more important than any of that was what the observers had seen. They had seen a human fight against impossible odds. They had seen her take wounds that would have stopped others and keep moving. They had seen her earn the loyalty of species that had once despised her. They had seen her lead when leading seemed impossible. They had seen why the scanner flashed red. 3 days later, stood at the academy gates. Her wounds were healing. Her allies had returned to their normal training. The galaxy was still talking about what had happened in the arena. Found her there, standing before the scanner that had marked her on her first day. "I finally understand," he said. Looked at him. Understand what? "The warning," he gestured at the scanner. "Do not engage. I thought it meant humans were dangerous, that they would hurt you if you got too close." And now was quiet for a moment. "Now I know it means something else. It means that if you engage a human, they will not stop. They will chase you across deserts. They will turn your traps against you. They will survive wounds that should kill them. They will make allies of their enemies, and they will never, ever surrender." He looked at her with his yellow eyes. "The warning is not about human weakness. It is about human strength, and any species that does not understand that will learn the hard way." Nodded slowly. "On Earth, we have survived ice ages and plagues and wars. We have climbed the highest mountains and crossed the deepest oceans. We have walked on our own moon and reached for the stars. We did not do these things because we were the strongest or the fastest. We did them because we refused to accept that they were impossible." "That is terrifying," said. "Yes," agreed, "it is." She received a message from one that evening. His words were simple. Grandmother was right about the nail and the hammer, but she forgot to mention something. Sometimes the nail breaks the hammer so badly that no one ever tries to hammer nails again. You are that nail, sister. The galaxy will remember what happened today, and they will think twice before they try to hammer humans again. Read the message and smiled. She walked back through the academy gates one more time. The scanner hummed as she passed. Red light filled the arch. The warning appeared above her head, bright and clear. "Earthborn, do not engage." A group of new cadets stood nearby, watching her with wide eyes. They had heard the stories. They knew who she was. One of them whispered to another, "Is that her, the human?" "Yes," the other answered. "That is Park, the one who fought alone against 12 teams, the one who survived the assassination attempt, the one who changed everything." Heard them but did not stop. She walked into the academy grounds, her head high, her step steady. Behind her, the red light continued to glow. And this time no one laughed. No one would ever laugh again.